Not impressed by your performance.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Yep, let me mute this over here. Hello. Hope everybody's doing well. As always, let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if the music is too loud. Hello. Welcome to Creature Design Stream. Returning back to the big book of creatures. I've already started getting kind of like an outline going of this creature that I thought of today. Like I said, let me know if the music or anything is too loud, if I'm not speaking up loud enough, whatever the case might be. Want to make sure that it's an enjoyable stream. But yeah, I was streaming earlier this morning. If you saw my genie stream where I'm doing digital artwork, I said that I would stream this evening, and I'm a little bit behind schedule. I did a lot of work this evening, and I got tired and just wanted to watch TV. But I did say that I would do it tonight and return to the book. I would return back to the book. So I had, oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. I enjoy doing it. I just, if I get out of my routine, it's over for me. But anyway, I was having this idea of like this creature. Of course, obviously, this a creature. And as you guys know, if we recapped a little bit, if we remember our ratworm for ratworm stew. That was what we worked on last time, and my gosh, that was a disgusting stream. Oh my goodness, it was fun, but it was gross. And then before that, we skipped a page, and if you remember, we have Donker, the Empire. He was pretty cool. That's what we the last big creature that we left off with, and I was like, yes, creature creation time. So I had this idea today. Let me get to it. And I was like, I know I said I want to get into landscapes and more world building and stuff like that. But I was like, I had this idea of a cross between a stingray and a moth. Right? I was like, I want another underwater creature. Because we remember Binsey, where's she at? Our Udao, she's around here somewhere. Where'd she go? There she is. And I thought, I think it would be good to have another underwater creature before we start moving. And you know what? It's very possible that as we do landscapes and whatnot, we're going to bounce between creatures. All right. So I was like, okay, I had the stingray and the moth, and that's like, it would be kind of cool to merge an otter in there. Exactly. Oh, wow. Are we going to be able to do it tonight? Yeah, sure. I've got some of my references up here, and I'm going to quickly click on that so I can see. And so you can see here, obviously, I've got these wing-like things for the stingray. Obviously, a moth is kind of like that too. I found these really cool pictures of hairy moths, and I thought, hey, that would be cool. And I was like, okay, are there any underwater creatures that have hair on them? Like a lot of hair. And it didn't even dawn on me to think about the animals that are both in the water and out. And the thing that popped up first was actually some kind of frog fish thing that had spines, not hair, but they call it a hairy frog. That didn't count. So then it brought up otters. And I was like, that works. That works. That's so cool. Let me see. Wow, these hairy moths are actually super cute. They kind of look like Pokemon. But let's see if I can try to somehow merge it. So I was like, okay, maybe it has like a moth-like head. The stingray arms, and we'll give it a tail eventually. And that would be kind of like the part of the otter. I was going to give it like an otter body, hopefully, with the tail and the arms. So let's see what we can do. I can't find the exact moth reference on the internet. I have it on my phone. I wish I could just kind of shift it over there. But let's see what we do. This one kind of looks like a cow. Let me show you. Looks kind of like a cow. But let's see. I've got... What does an otter's face look like? Let's have a look, see at that too. Look. But if you haven't already, please be sure to hit the like button on your way in. Oh, Otter's nose is so cute. All right, so we've got, he doesn't have much of a snout, but he's got a little bit. Let's see what we can do. And you guys know the drill. If you've been here for a while, let's see, I need a profile picture of an otter. He's so flipping cute. Oh my gosh. If you could see the pictures that I see. But anyway, if you've been here for a while, you know the drill. You know the drill is that we create these characters, and then I like to ask for your guys' help in naming our character and creating these worlds. Maybe he'll end up looking more like a seal. We don't know. We never know where this will take us. Then it's like so they kind of have a little bit squarish kind of head. Let's see. I mean, he's already. I find this to already be kind of super cute. Elsid Barrett says, I wish I could send the picture of the moth I saw at work. It was huge. I've never seen like a giant moth before, but like in person. I've seen some sort of semi-large ones, but nothing like what some of these creatures are. And so interesting. There we go. It's gonna look like a Pokemon. I'm okay with that. Like, a lot of our creatures, I think you could say, have a lot of Pokemon-esqueness to them. Little nosies. Aw. Alright, let's see. I want it to glide a little nicer. But how's everybody doing? What you got in store for the weekend? And if you have any ideas for a creature, please, as always, let me know, because we might be able to incorporate them and make this creature better. I mean, please go ahead and put your thinking caps on about what kind of story we could build for such a creature like this. What kind of magic powers does it have? Does it have magic powers? Some of our creatures don't exactly have what you might consider magic powers. I think maybe I should give it moth eyes, though. They're like super big. Oh, that kind of takes the cuteness away, doesn't it? You know, like the Udao, Binzi, for example. You could say she's a creature of magic, but it's not like she's a wizard or something like that, right? She has something that's not common to our kind of creatures, right? The capabilities that she has. We want really big eyes. But they have these abilities. You know, I mean, even honestly, like dolphins and sharks. Dolphins and sharks, or specific dolphins. Dolphins have like echolocation, right? Something like that, or is it? Well, like bats have that. Don't dolphins do something similar to that? Like the way their sound waves move in the water, or something like this. And then I wanted to give this thing. And then, you know, sharks with this strange ability of being able to sniff blood a mile away. They say up to a mile away. I mean, that's incredible. Tell me that ain't real world magic. We've just become so accustomed to that stuff. But if you really think about it and try to explain it to somebody, especially like a child who's learning all these things about our world, it sounds really magical. I think that's what I like to call real world magic. Oh, okay. What do we think? Isn't this looking already pretty cute? Pretty interesting. Enticing. Let me make it a little darker. don't know if it's translating well. Here we go. He has the tail for a stingray. Right, well, and the wings, right? Kind of got these wings. Wing things. Flaps. We gotta figure out, yeah, what kind of creature is this? Some of our creatures, we took like Latin words, like other languages, and we played with that. French and Latin. All right, we gotta give him 2. I don't want him to be like a Teletubby. I want these to be a little bit floopy. There we go. I think that works. It's kind of cool looking. It's different, right? Hey, it is Zechariah 3:15. Howdy. Sperm whales use clicks because they go to the bottom of the ocean where light can't go. Apparently, the clicks are powerful enough to render someone incapacitated. I have heard that. Isn't that fascinating? Come on, when you hear of things like that, you tell me that doesn't sound like superpowers or like magic. Come on, that's so cool. Otter-Mote? Like, hang on. How do we want to pronounce that last one? Otter-Mote? Otter-Mote? That kind of sounds cool. Of course, we try to make sure that with our creatures, we don't have the names too similar to, besides dragons, too similar to what the real ones are. Although this one is supposed to be a koala weirtoad, but we remember that that's like a nickname for him, right? Keffin's species is actually, I always forget what it is because I always call him a koala weirtoad, is Otter-Ray. Oops. I'm gonna have to look at this. Let's hang on a second. Hey, it is Deranged Lunatic, aka DL. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. What is this? Is this Ors de Roche. An Ors de Roche. And that's why everybody calls them koala weirtoads, because nobody can remember what to call it. And I think that's fantastic. There it is. Here we go. Let's bring back this glider. I don't know the fancy names for like moths. Does anybody know scientific names for moths? Maybe something. Well, I guess it would also help if we knew if this had some kind of what we call superpower or magic power. I kind of think, in my mind, I do picture this very sleek with a little bit of fur. I picture it white. We could change things, but I do picture it white. Big dark eyes, and beyond that I haven't really gotten very far. So what, and we can always incorporate more things. I want to give it some, even though it's got its little wingy things here, I was gonna give it also some otter arms. I'm just trying to look at the reference and see how otter arms are shaped when they swim. They're so cute. They're so freaking adorable. I love them. They're so cute. I love things with fur. Have no fear. Discount Superhero is here. Hi all. Hello to you. All right, so we've got its tail will go back this way. Wonder, should it not have any back legs? Should we just leave it like this kind of weird looking eggplant creature, squash zucchini thing? And then its arms. Let's see if we can just kind of play around with this here first. It's not going to be perfect. I'm just going to try to get an idea. Obviously, it needs to be longer than that, but... So it's kind of got a shoulder here. And we're just going to make a little paw. So we can kind of I know, it's really, this is terrible. Look, I'm working on my anatomy. I'm working on it. I'm not having a clear picture of what it looks like when they're swimming. They have them where they're so cute and their little arms are all tucked up by their bodies. It's like, well, but what do they look like when they swim? And I'll be honest, I want to try to keep the arms simple. I don't want to have it like swimming motion if I can help it. But if I have to, I have to. But everything is of these adorable creatures above the water, or pressed up against glass, or on their backs. Like, obviously, National Geographic has just not decided that it's important for the world to know what otters look like when they're actually swimming. We wants to know. We if not, we're gonna have to make something up. Maybe you should have like 4 arms. All right. So, and what does a dog look like when it swims? Maybe that could be like there's kind of like this joint here, and then it just like I think I've done a goat leg backwards. What is this? Maybe it's this. Maybe that's what's throwing me off. Because, normally you'd have a shoulder. Maybe I have it backwards. Gosh. This is the nose incident of this morning. I can't. I swear. If it wasn't for Jacob Ironside, I would have gone mad today. I think maybe kind of weird looking. It's like an elephant arm. Maybe this needs to be longer, and I don't know. Is that better? I mean, I'm not. It's not refined yet. Oh, maybe like a flipper. Like, little flippers. Oh, maybe it's kind of grotesque looking. Let's have a look. Maybe not that grotesque, but hi, it is the Forgotten Man. Week went well. It did. Very accomplished. Got a new tutorial coming out on Monday for helping with poses and stuff like that. So for people that want to learn how to draw characters and stuff, not creatures. I'm not quite there yet to be able to teach people how to do creatures. But we're working on it. But yeah, got new stuff coming up. Excited. Got some trips planned, and I was sick a couple of weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, and it took a week for me to recover. I had food poisoning. It was awful. It knocked me out, and it's so awful that happened at the beginning of the year, because you know how it is with the new year. You get resolutions, you get this momentum and this drive, and you're like, I'm going for it. I'm shooting for the stars. This is my year. You know all this. You guys know all this stuff, right? And I got sick, and I had a routine going and everything. And when I got sick, it's been really difficult for me to get back into the routine. I mean, like, December was awesome. If you've been subscribed to the channel and you're part of my Patreon and stuff like that, like, I was posting things, putting stuff out. Like, I was on top of my game. I was feeling great. And then when I got sick, like, even going live, you guys know, and I apologize, I've not been regular. And that's awful. It's just so hard for me to get back into a routine once I've fallen out. All right, this is kind of a wonky arm, but I'm okay with it. I think we'll still play around with it, but I like it. I like the way it's coming. And this is still weird, but we'll figure it out. Let me know if I should put some spikes on this. Although I kind of want to keep this very sleek and tranquil kind of animal. Maybe moths, what are moths associated with? Nighttime, sleep, maybe? I found the moth. Oh, wait. I found the moth I saw at work. Apparently it's called Actius artemis, or Japanese moon moth. How is that in Canada? God knows. Let's see. Japanese moon moth. Japanese moon moth. Oh, yes. I've seen these. let's see. Let's have a look. I mean, I don't think I may have seen one of these. Let's see. I wonder if I can. No, let's see. So that you guys know what's going on. There it is. Right? Did it pop up? Did it show up? Yeah, there it is. So that's super cool. Moths love light. Yes, indeed they do. I made no New Year's resolutions. Food poisoning. The gift. It's awful. Moths love light. Okay. So I feel like sleep should be something that this creature does. Then there's a light. You associate moths with eating. My sweat. The size, exactly. They're very large. Very large. Okay. We're just kind of playing around. We'll refine things. This is kind of like a little ghost moth otter creature. So something with light, we were saying. I think it'd be great if they had these little fin-like paw things. So what if it glows? Okay. I know, so in The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, I don't know the name of this creature, but while you're out gallivanting in the world, this creature will suddenly show up about the size of a corgi, and it's glowing. And if you shoot at it with your bow and arrow, and you hit it, it releases rupees that you can collect. Or sometimes these like really cool snowflake-like pendants. Now I'm not saying we need to shoot this creature and it releases things, but what if it was glowing? What if it was... Oh, wait. Deranged Lunatic says the scientific name for a math is let's try this. Lepidoptera, according to Google anyway. Lepidoptera, that's a mouthful, ain't it? I like how we're doing this here. This is I like this. I think this is coming along nicely. I was actually thinking of glowing. Yeah, right? Somehow it just kind of works. So I like that our creatures, you know, if you want to have a real world element, there's always pros and cons to things, right? So like moths can be very pretty. And I don't know exactly what they do to benefit the earth. But besides being really pretty, and sometimes entertaining, they destroy things. Yeah, they eat clothing and whatnot. You also have well, you have dogs. Anybody that knows me. I love me some dogs. I love dogs. My favorite animal. All of them. I love all of them. And they're wonderful and they're fantastic. They're great. They add so much to the existence of the world. But they're a handful too, you know. They pee on things, they chew on things, whatever the case might be. So there's always like these good things. So I'd like to think of this as almost like a neutral animal. So it's one of those things where it's kind of like it looks pretty and it seems very innocent, but maybe there's something, I don't want to make it dark, but maybe there's something kind of like a poisonous caterpillar. It's really pretty and there's nothing inherently evil about a poisonous caterpillar. It's just if you touch it, bad things will happen, right? So Elsa Barrett says, so they glow to find each other. Oh, okay. Well, so what if they don't glow normally, but they glow for a reason? That sounds very intriguing. Let's see, should we give it some like those Japanese? I don't know if I like that. Kind of takes away from... What do we think? Should we have these little trail whisker things? Let me know. Do you think it adds to the character, or does it take away? But the glowing light needs to be mesmerizing as nighttime defense, not to be eaten. Oh? You like it? Okay. We'll leave it. Well, okay, so what about we're just fleshing out ideas. It's like glowing when it's looking for something, or when it's trying to be found. Maybe it glows when it's trying to be found by its other species. Maybe it's kind of like Carl, the Chiropentheras, where they're kind of aloof. They don't necessarily travel in pairs, but that when it wants to be discovered, it starts glowing to the demise of other creatures. So it's not that this creature is trying to lure other animals to the depths of the ocean, right? But because it's so beautiful and attractive, because of the way that it glows, it's almost as if it does lure victims to their demise. Maybe they can glow to attract wool sweaters. Yeah, or something else to eat. That's possible. I don't necessarily want to make it a repeat of like Carl, where it's trying to find a mate, but maybe it's kind of like there's a gathering of these things and their strength in number. Maybe, some of our creatures, like Donker over here, were in the war, right? They're not just, some of these creatures aren't just animals, right? They have personalities, they communicate, all these kinds of things. So maybe this species of whatever this is, there needs to be a collective of something. I don't know why. What would be a reason, besides mating, of course, like the snakes and everything, what would be a reason that a group of animals would need to get together in a huge bunch? And maybe that could lend itself to the name of our creature, like, so you have like sea stars, if you will, because they all of a sudden will glow and dot the ocean under the water. Discount Superhero says maybe they can glow so they light up an area where others do work. Oh, so kind of like ants that have specific jobs. Is that what you're maybe saying? Like these are the glowy ones? I think that I don't have the right shape for this wing over here. I think maybe I don't know if that worked. I was trying one of those, how sometimes the things curl. He says yes. Okay. Maybe there's a meeting. So again, hey, it's Miss Martin Muses. Look at our creature. We are merging a moth with a stingray with an otter, and we have yet to come up with a name for these creatures. But maybe it's like, maybe kind of like ants, there's like a hierarchy or something like this, and they need to establish a new form of leadership. I'm not totally satisfied with it, but I think part of that has to do with like highlighting and shadowing. My dad used to jacklight spearfish. Fish shine in the dark under light, making it easier to spear them. Oh. Hey, Logical Spock! Yes! Another stream in one day. I know. Maybe not so much being mesmerizing, but more like causing a trance where predators leave them alone. Oh. I feel like we have... My fingernails... Yeah, I need to redo these things. I feel like we have a lot of really great ideas, And there needs to be one that just grabs us. So we like this idea of light. I personally really enjoy the idea that they don't always glow, but they glow for a reason. I think we all seem to be kind of on board with that idea, right? They don't just go around glowing. They glow for a reason. There's also kind of like the werewolves. They kind of like Kefin, but like, werewolf lore, they only turn into werewolves when the moon is full. So maybe they only glow for a reason. Matching lipstick, this color? Surely not. Let's see. I sometimes get a little lost in all the thoughts that we have. Let me go back in the chat and see. Well, I love this one, to be honest. They do it to attract wool sweaters. Here's that one. Maybe they can glow so they light up an area where others can do work. Okay. What is the work that the other ones are doing? So everybody seems to be kind of on board with the idea that they glow to keep predators away. So maybe these ones glow. They're kind of protectors, illuminators. And they glow to keep predators away from the ones that do not glow while they work for something. Like, I don't know, digging a hole. What do you guys think about this? What if they when the babies, like when the moms are about to have the babies, they do it in a certain spot. And the males gather together around that spot in a wide area and circle around this area, maybe for miles, glowing. And because there's so many, it keeps the predators away. A nest. Yeah. What do we think about that? Like, maybe the males have the mustaches. Do you notice that we I've only created one female? Like, we create all males. What is that? Why do we do that? I don't know. It's just easier to make guys. Okay, so I kind of like this character here. What do we think? Is that? It doesn't have to be. I know it's kind of similar to the Udao story, so I don't necessarily want to copy it, but it is a big part of, obviously, the circle of life, needing to protect the babies that are coming. There could be another reason. I'm totally fine. Females laying eggs? Yeah, okay. Yeah, the females are going to lay the eggs, and the males encircle it. Maybe the males encircle it for several months. Month, 2 months, until the babies hatch, if you will, or whatever the case might be. And then the males are like, all right, peace out. I did my job. Hey, gaming or what? It does look like a Pokemon. I like it. It's a unique idea. Which one? The fact that it's like a nest and the males encircle. Kind of like how the seahorses lend their selves to the female seahorses, where, the eggs latch on, so that in a way the males contribute to in another way to the birth and the life of their offspring. If you don't want the defense aspect, then they glow for mates. That happens on the specific. Maybe they glow a different color. Actually, I think that would be really cool. What if they glow a different color for when it's mating season, and then they glow another color when it's like daddy protection service season? It would be weird for you to draw boobs on a female. I don't think that would be weird, but I don't feel like I want to do that. Okay. All right, so yeah, see, seahorses, right? See, we can gain a lot from the world we live in and just kind of put a twist to it. So, okay, we like this idea. I'm putting it down in the book, guys. But we're gonna do our field notes here. All right. I like to have a different sound for us when we do the different, field notes and journals. Like I like to get it ready for that. Let's see. Yeah, a cool warning color and a loving color. I love the use of the U in color, by the way. Americans don't do that. We're too cool for extra vowels, apparently. So, okay, guys. So we've got this story, which is really cool. I really like it. I like it a lot. Before I write stuff down, we don't have a name for this person, for this creature, or for its species. We got to figure that out. From what I understand, the male seahorses don't lay the eggs. The female seahorses lay their eggs, on the male. I think there's a certain type of frog that does that as well. And so that basically this male seahorse holds on to them until it's time for them to be born, I believe that's it. Okay, so glowing moths. Let me look up over here. What's the Latin name? Let's see. For an otter. Let's just see what. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly. Otter-Ray. Otter-Ray. Here, I'm gonna write it down so you guys can. Let me see here. More written in my book. Let's have a look. Oops, no, I did that backwards. This is A-E. So that's an otter. I like to merge stuff. So let's see, how about a moth? Latin names for moths are all adjectives, and they are usually accompanied by the noun mensis, moth. So for example, you will see mensis augustus, which means, I spelled moth wrong. I spelled month. Oh no, the internet decided to do that. Okay, you're right. So we already had somebody gave us the name for moths, butterflies, which was, let's get that in here, Lepidoptera. Don't mind my handwriting. I'm not really looking at what I'm doing. All right. And then what was the other creature we had? A stingray. Okay. Whoa! Sons of the Pharaoh. All right, I'm gonna write it down. And then my Leobat Oi D die. My Leobatoidae. There's a reason Latin is dead. And I believe that this particular name is what contributed to that. Oh, dear Lord. If you would look at the other classifications for stingrays, then other names are just as horrific. So, hey, rolling chairs. Hello. Lepid-ray. Boom. Done. Lepid-ray. I don't know. Does this look like a lepid-ray? It almost sounds like leopard ray, like as if it was a leopard seal stingray, which we could kind of go with, I guess. I feel like that we could work with that. The L is a beautiful letter. I feel like we could work with that to make it maybe a little bit more elegant of a name. What is it backwards? Yeard. Yeardeeple. Let's not do that either. Okay. All right. Serious thought. Okay. Also, I want to know, what is the Latin word for glow? Maybe that will help us out. Okay. Rutilans. Well, that's not very romantic either. Lumen. Lumen. I like that. Luna, right? There's Luna, lumen. I like lumen. We got our, let's see. Lumen. Let's see if we can work on that, which means like glow or light. Okay, so we have the otter, the moth, the ray, dear God. Lumen. What about a my lumen? Like my lumentera? Is that too much? My lumentera? What is it? What's out on the ocean? Do you see all the sea stars aglow? Those aren't sea stars. They're my lumenteras. What do we think? Does that sound? My lumentera? We could do lumen mitera. It kind of rolls around a little bit, doesn't it? Lumen mitera. My lumentera. Kind of like the first one. What are our thoughts? One or two? It actually sounds like a really good Pokemon name too, doesn't it? I think that could work. Let's... Yeah. One or two. I'll let you guys let me know. I like the first one, says Rolling Chairs. Kind of reminds me of mermaids. Yeah, something's elegant, something enchanting. And we've got ones in the chat. So, as it is written, so let it be done. My lumentera, also known as sea stars. Because they light up the ocean. They light up the ocean. Okay. All right. So I also want you guys to be putting on your thinking caps. I'm going to write down like our description and the story behind our character here. You know what's interesting is that that Binzi, the Udao, she was also white. Apparently there's only like white, glowy, ethereal creatures under the ocean and in our world. But anyway, be thinking of a name for our creature. Now you guys know I do love me some old-fashioned, standard American guy names. I think it would be creepier, honestly, if their eyes did not glow. Like they're just big black pools, kind of like snow leopard, or excuse me, like the leopard seals and stuff like that. Like these giant, just big, bulbous black eyes. But maybe, just maybe, if you actually get close enough to them, maybe you can see your future in their eyes. Which I think would be kind of cool because the stars, the planets, everything like that in our world have to do, well, people use, astronomy? I get those two confused. But they look to the stars to understand who we are as people, as individuals, as a society. And they look to the stars for creation and for our future, for what's going to happen to us during the day. So what if you were lucky enough because these are elusive creatures floating about the ocean in their business. What if you get close, if you were lucky enough to make friends and get close enough with a My Lumentera? You're able to peer into the black pools of their eyes, and it would allow you to see the gateway of your future. I think that would be pretty magical. I think that would be something that people would strive, some people would strive their whole lives to try to attempt and to achieve. Kind of like people that dedicate their life to hunting Sasquatch or living on Loch Ness to try to find the monster. I think that would be pretty cool. The Forgotten Man suggests Luminaire for this guy's name. Now, does that sound like an old white American male sitting on a front porch wearing green plaid? I think not. It's a great name, of course. What about Larry? Should we make this Larry? All right, let's think about that for a second. I know, I just told this really beautiful story about the possibility of seeing the future in the eyes of this mysterious creature. And I'm like, what's his name? Larry. Tim! Should this be Tim? Because he can't just name him Tim. It's got to be Tim. Len? Lenny. Leonard. What do we think, guys? I see some people saying Lucas. Lucas Connor Cooper. Oh, Cooper's a good one. I do kind of like the whole L for sophistication. Leonard, the My Lumentera. We call him Len. Lenny for short. He looks a little bit snot-nosy that he would not appreciate it if you called him Leonard or Lenny. I could just see him now and be like, it's Leonard. Leopold. Gosh, Tim, Lucas, Cooper. All right. So the names that I'm really enjoying, I like Tim. I do like Len, or short for Leonard, for sure. Cooper's pretty cute too, but it's not old enough. I don't know if it's old enough. Maybe it is. Yes, it does mean light fixture. We could do it in German. Oh shoot, I'm forgetting what it's called in German. A candelabra in German is Armleuchte, but that's a little bit of a mouthful. We'll just call her Ami for short. All right, guys, what do you think? Tim, or Len? Lenny, Leonard. While we think on that. Tim. It'd be great because then Tim Possible's going to show up in the chat from time to time, and we'll be like, Tim, look, we made a creature that looks nothing like you. It's a total opposite of you because Tim always wears light black. Anyway, what do we call this? My Lumentera? Unless you think of another name that's really cool. I'm really gravitating towards Tim and Leonard and Len. Lenny, yeah. All right. My Lumenteras are ocean dwelling creatures. And see, I like to believe that they have, like, I'm going to try to color him a little bit, or, shadow and highlight. I don't know why that was so difficult for me. But I like to think that if you've ever touched a stingray, I'd like to believe that, like, the tail and these antennae things and the wings are like that. And then it's got a little bit of hair going up the head into the chest and the back. That's what I'm kind of thinking here. So my Lumenteras are ocean-dwelling creatures covered in soft fur, greasy fur, covered in soft fur and smooth skin. Let's see, they have the ability to glow. They have the ability, giving them the nickname sea stars. However, they only glow. I would say maybe also when they feel threatened, right? They only glow when in search of a mate. Giving what kind of, okay, so I kind of, in my mind, I kind of think that when they're glowing, when they are protecting their young, that it's kind of like this very bright, soft, greenish yellow color, right? Nothing harsh, nothing fluorescent, but it's like when they glow, it kind of, it's not pure white, right? And that might be due to like the algae or whatever in the water, but still it kind of gives us a greenish color. So when it's mating season, what color do we want them to glow? Is it too on the nose? Is it too tacky to say red, pink? Should it be something else? I see some people saying Len or Lynn. I think Len because Lynn can also, for some reason, be a guy's name. I'm thinking going with Len. Lexington. Oh, sophisticated. Very fancy. I don't know that this guy owns a plantation, so we might save Lexington for another day. That sounds like a really cool name for a dragon, to be honest. Leffy? And then is this the size of an otter or the size of a moth? I'd like to think that it's about a little bit bigger than an otter. A little bit bigger than an otter. Maybe like bigger than an otter, maybe about the size of a leopard seal kind of thing. Make it blue and red comes to mind. Okay, well, red and blue make purple. We could find a common ground. We could find a merge. What if it kind of gives off a purplish kind of color? Merged blue and red. A little happy medium. Insertion giving off a purple haze. Let's see. They only glow when in search of a mate, giving off a purple haze, or when protecting their offspring. During well, the yellow, they'll be glowing that kind of yellowish color when they're protecting their young. I don't know. Let's see. When there's danger, that's also going to be the yellow thing. It's about warding. So maybe it's also kind of like dolphins, guys. You know how sharks don't really attack dolphins because they'll travel in groups and stuff like that. So maybe it's a known thing under the water, under the sea, that when the let's see, what's their name again? The Mylumenteras, when one glows, like they don't glow unless they feel that there's danger, right? So if they find themselves in a situation where there is a predatory creature, they will begin to glow in hopes of fooling that creature into thinking that more of them will show up. And it's like dolphins. you know, they all will kind of come together or hyenas and attack, you know, or, you know, stronger in numbers. Or when protecting their offspring during, I don't know, growth season. Well, they're always growing. When protecting their offspring during egg laying season. Egg laying season. The males will circle the area for up to 2 months. Glowing in mass numbers. Because, you know, like leopard seals are pretty dangerous. They can be, as cute as they are. Glowing in mass numbers, warding off danger. Danger, danger, danger. Oh, I didn't mention the color. Right. Glow and serves from giving off a purple hue. Let's see. Glowing in mass numbers, warding off danger with. Here it is. A celestial yellow haze glow. We keep using glow, so I was trying to think of glow. The thesaurus of my mind is escaping me. Let's see. Anger's glow is pulsating to cause disorientation. Disorientation. Yes, that would be good. How long is a month in this world? It's a good question. I don't know if we need to get it that complicated. Maybe a month is 42 days. I don't know. That seems like a good number. I think I would maybe like it if a month. Can you imagine if Christmas season lasted 42 days? That'd be kind of nice. Okay. It says celestial. These creatures grow quickly. Okay. Anything else we need to know about these creatures? Are there different varieties of pulses for depending on what these creatures are doing? I don't think so. I think these are probably... Oh, I need to mention the part about the eyes. I think these creatures are not quite as complicated as maybe they seem to be because they're mysterious, right? So like the facts are that they glow, but they don't glow all the time. What is the reason for the glowing? Danger, protection, mating. And then what do they do in between? Well, you know, they get up in the morning, they fight traffic and go to work. So, if you're lucky enough to befriend one of these creatures. Ooh. All right. I just gave this whole speech about how these creatures are maybe not as complicated, right? But now I'm like, oh, what if you see different things when you look into the eyes of male or female? What if you see your future in the male's eyes? And there's something about your past in the female's eyes. The plot thickens. Let's see. If you're lucky enough to befriend one of these creatures and gaze into its black eyes, you will see beyond the moment. The present, beyond the present. What do you think? What does it eat? I don't know. Seahorses. Oh. The female shows how your life started. Oh, the male shows how your life went. Brilliant. It's perfect. Let's see, females. A show how your life started. And males show how your life will end. And the ones in between will give you epilepsy. What if you look into the male's eyes, you instantly die? Oh! But if you look into a female's eye, then you see your future. So it's a risk to even look at them, even if it's tempting. Well, that gives it a lot darker of a backstory. I don't think that's a bad idea, but, well, maybe instead of, yeah, like kind of like what we were saying, maybe it's not so much that you die when you look into the eyes of the male, but that you see how you die. Kind of like what we're saying. Like, it still has to have that darkness around it. I mean, it would definitely be like an like if there were humans in this world. So rolling cheers. I think if there were humans in this world, I would go with your version, because then it would be like if you're an adrenaline junkie, a marine biologist adrenaline junkie, you'd be like, and because I would say that for these creatures, it's difficult, kind of like cats. It's difficult to tell male and female apart. And so it's like, it's risky business to look into their eyes. And so, yeah, if there were humans like in this world, I would definitely go with what you're doing. So they'd be like, let me take a risk. But I kind of like the idea that there's still dark. I mean, could you imagine? There's still darkness in knowing how you'll die. Now, the thing is that maybe that it doesn't tell you when you'll die, just how. And that is already sinister enough as it is, if you think about it, because of the fact that I don't know, in this world, I'm just going to bring it back into our world. So let's say you look into the eyes of this creature, and it says you're going to get hit by a bus on a rainy Tuesday. So then every time, and you don't know when, it doesn't say how old. So then every time it's Tuesday, it happens to be raining, you're like, oh, today could be the day. And that leaves you with this awful sense of dread. Let's see, I'm not really sure how I'm going to color this. Well, I say color. Let's give it some shadowing, but that's not a bad idea. Tempting. Guys, you have been awesome, as always, with these ideas. Ever since we've started this journey, do you guys feel like your own personal creativity has grown quite a bit? I know it has for mine. Like, I would never say that I'm a creature designer. And obviously we can tell that I still struggle. Heck, I can't even draw a human's nose in a weird way, as we witnessed earlier this morning. But I don't know. You guys ever feel like these streams just kind of open your mind up to other possibilities? I hope so. As far as what it eats, I would probably think seaweed and stuff like that for sure. seaweed, maybe some those things, not barnacles, those coral, maybe like coral and stuff. I don't know. I don't really think of it too much of a carnivorous creature. Oh, it's gonna have little hair. Let's see. Let's put some little furriness. I mean, do you guys think that the males and the females should be different colors? Or have markings or something? I don't want to get too complicated because I keep saying that. But I want to keep them regal kind of looking, but and elegant, but here we go. Kind of like a mind-expanding thought experiment. Yes, for sure. I know you guys have helped me definitely become more creative through these streams. And I have just loved creating this world. I can't wait to keep... I say I can't wait. We do it anyway. We expand this world every time. Because every time we create a creature, there's so much more to it. Like we're thinking about the ocean, and we're thinking about rivers and forests and things like that. And it's just... it's amazing to me. Like, this seems like such a cute creature. Of course, I think maybe if we gave it a little bit of... I don't want it to be too girly, but it's like, I feel like a creature like this needs some eyelashes just to kind of keep it looking a little bit more innocent looking. Let's give it this black nosy. Maybe this harsh line doesn't need to be there. I like this creature so much. It's cute. Gosh, could you imagine seeing something like this in the ocean? Could you imagine going even just to the aquarium? It's like, it's kind of like sharks and stuff like that, like manatees. My gosh. Like, I knew they existed, but until I saw one in the zoo, I didn't realize how huge they were. Didn't realize. Good night. Sleep well and enjoy the upcoming weekend. We're almost done here with another awesome stream with amazing people who have some of the best ideas. And I hope you guys understand, like, just because I might not use everybody's ideas, it doesn't mean that you have bad ideas. It's just trying to find what flows, what works, and sometimes saving those ideas for later. Like, maybe they don't work for this creature, but they might work for another creature. Hope you guys know that. I like to tell people that as I've been growing in my walk with Christ and I study my Bible more, that one of my favorite disciples, if you don't know who those were the followers of Christ when he was here on earth, the closest group of men, right? Disciples. There were women there too, but like Jesus specifically called this certain group of men. And there's, everybody talks about Peter and, John and all this kind of stuff, but there are so many other ones. Obviously there's 12. And as I study the Bible, study the scriptures, I wonder if these guys should have little whiskers. They probably should. Why not? Anyway, I find that I have a new personal favorite, and that would be Andrew. Now, people are like, oh, why? It's great, cool. Andrew who? Who's Andrew? And so lots of people may be familiar with one of the most famous or popular miracles that Jesus ever did, and that was the feeding of the 5,000. Okay, and if you don't really know that story, it's a really cool story. Let me give you the background. Give me the goods, okay? So, I'm going to summarize this. There's going to be a lot that I'm missing. But anyway, so Jesus, out and about teaching and his disciples following him. And there was a massive crowd that were following Jesus. People are like, who is this guy? Who is that masked man? Right? And at a certain point in the journey, people started getting hungry. They wanted to hear more about Jesus, but they were hungry, and such an interesting story. But anyway, the disciples come up to Jesus and they're like, Jesus, these people are hungry. And they're trying to, long story short, there's so much goodness in that chapter, but long story short, they're trying to figure out, how are they going to feed all these people? They say that it was about 5,000 men. Was it 2,000 or 5,000 men? I get the number confused because there was two different stories. But they were saying that wasn't including the women and the children. So some people say, there was several thousand more people there following Jesus. Women, children, men. And so the disciples are like, Jesus, what are we going to do? We don't have the money to be able to feed all of these people. And in one telling of the story, it's so cool. And in one telling of the story, Andrew, you kind of have to read between lines. You have to understand the human element that goes into these stories. You can't just read the Bible and be like, he said, she said, and that's what happened. You got to think about what was going through the minds of these humans as this moment was unfolding before them. So you find yourself in this crowded place on a hilltop, surrounded by just thousands of people to see this one guy talk. And they're hungry and they're like, Jesus, we don't have the money. We don't have food. We don't have the money. What are we going to do? And in one telling of the story, Andrew, out of all those people, out of all the disciples, and I'm going to paraphrase a little bit here, but you read it, and he goes up to Jesus. He's like, Jesus, and he wasn't even, if you will, one of the closest disciples. So I can't imagine. He's going up to Messiah. He's going up to this leader, the rabbi, this ultimate dude. And he's like, Jesus, there's a little boy here that has 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes. And after he tells Jesus that, he follows up with, but what are they amongst so many people? And you might think, well, yeah, obviously that's not going to feed anybody. Like, just it's not a lot. It's not a lot. And you got to think the 5 loaves, they're not like what we would think they would be. Got to consider the time. And 2 fishes, my gosh, they probably were only like this big. Just enough for a little boy's lunch, maybe a little extra for his friends or something like that. And I love that part of the story because basically Andrew, I just can see him. He kind of walks up to Jesus in between the busyness of the day. And he's like, God, he's like, Jesus, there's a little boy here who's got some food in his lunchbox, but it's such a stupid idea. He's like, I'm sorry I even brought it up because what in the world? We can't possibly feed all these people with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes. What a stupid idea. I can imagine just how dumb and embarrassed Andrew must have felt suggesting this ludicrous idea. I mean, it's absolutely stupid. It's enough for a boy to have for lunch. A boy. Among thousands and thousands of people. And Jesus says, bring it to me. And when Jesus had the food and they blessed it, there was enough food for everybody until their bellies were full, and they even had leftovers. So, to tie this together with what I was saying earlier about the ideas that you guys share with me, I never want you to think that your ideas are stupid or that they're bad just because they might not get used. Because something that I've learned from that story in the Bible that has really helped me as an individual with many dreams. I mean, I am dreaming, Tabitha, with many dreams, many goals, so many ideas, is that within reason, like common sense, but there's really no bad or stupid ideas when you're really trying. Just because it doesn't necessarily get used doesn't mean it was a bad idea. It might need to be used for a different time, just might not be the moment right now. But if you ever feel like your ideas are just dumb, you might just not be telling it to the right person. Because I wouldn't doubt that Andrew wrestled with it. He's like, maybe he told his brother, maybe he told John or Peter, and he's like, hey, what about this kid? He's like, I tried to find some food. I could only find this kid. And they may have brushed him aside and be like, don't be an idiot. We can't feed all these people. And maybe, just maybe, Andrew had enough faith to think that Jesus could do something with it. But the peer pressure of the people that were around him maybe caused him to retract his idea. Because when he says, but what are they among so many? I'm sorry, it's kind of stupid. But hey, Kings, I'm be working on the Sea of Thieves painting some more and streaming that here soon too. I love your guys' stream over there. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know that there are people in the Bible that had the dumbest ideas, and God took those ideas and did something miraculous with it. So if you ever feel like I do many times, just because sometimes humans don't seem to appreciate your ideas, that doesn't mean that they're wrong, they're bad. You might just be taking them to the wrong person. And I can speak from experience. I can speak from experience that sometimes your ideas just need a little time because God sees your heart. He knows your dreams and your desires. And if you have the courage to actually speak them out loud and really have a heart's desire for it, I've had so many instances in my life where God's basically like, I hear you. We're just going to put that on hold for right now. We're just going to wait a little bit. I remember years ago, I wanted to podcast. I wanted to do podcasting. And I had myself a little microphone, had my computer, had this fancy Adobe equipment. And I started a podcast at a church that I was attending for young people. Well, the podcast was for young adults, not the church, church for everybody. And we did that for about a year, and it was great. Had pretty good success for that, with what we had. And then just kind of moved on with life. And it's like, man, I would love to do that again. And then eventually I ended up on Inside the Booth for 2 years. And now I'm running my own things. It's not quite the same, but it's still fun. And God just let it all kind of happen. I remember thinking to myself at one point, this used to be a dream. This used to be a silly idea that I had for my life. And God's like, I got you. I see you. I see your 5 loaves. I see your 2 fishes. I see your stupid idea. Let me show you what I can do with stupid things. Let me show you what I can do with silly things. And that's how, oh gosh, I'm gonna get me in my feels. That's how great and how loving God is. So if you have some dreams, now you have to be willing to work. God ain't gonna do everything for you. He gives us the ability to do stuff, but he could give us the opportunities. Are we willing to seize them? Like I said, I bet you it took a lot for Andrew to come forward to the Messiah, to Jesus, for crying out loud, in front of thousands of people. I wouldn't doubt he even whispered it to Jesus when he came up and be like, hey, Jesus, I just want to let you know. And Jesus, maybe even, it's not recorded in the Bible, but maybe Jesus kind of like, speak up, man. You got something to say? Maybe like, yeah, there's this kid. Jesus like, bring him to me. And if it wasn't, you think about that. If it wasn't for Andrew's stupid idea, one of the greatest miracles in the Bible would never have happened. Let that sink in too. If you're a follower of Christ, especially, there might be something that has all to do with faith. There might be something that you're meant to do, you're meant to suggest, you're meant to bring to your church, you're meant to bring to your household. Maybe you're supposed to suggest to your spouse, hey, I'd love to start doing devotions together because I think it would help our family. Maybe you have a better program for the youth at your church, but you don't think anybody's going to believe you because it's kind of silly. Uh, that's if it's on your heart and God has directed you, that's where the faith comes in, and God's going to give you everything that you need. And then you also have to remember can only do what you're supposed to do. You let Jesus take care of the rest. If the humans don't appreciate it, if they kind of think it's like, hey, I've done that before. I've gone like even at my church, suggested something. Hey, what if we did this? And it's like, some people just aren't quite ready yet. Some people aren't ready for your awesome, stupid ideas. You just got to give them some time and you just do your part. And if it never comes to fruition, then you can say at the end of your life, I did what I was supposed to do. I did what I can live guilt-free because I did what I was supposed to do. It's not my fault that they didn't do it. And then of course, don't be mad or bitter at them. Humans, we're hard creatures. Our existence is rough. It takes us a long time to change. And the other thing is too, we can't kind of like our little creature here with seeing into the future. We can't see into the future because the other thing is too, is that your idea might not be for, I'm just going to hypothetically use the church situation. Your idea might not be for that church or that job, but it was for you to step out on faith to actually trust God with your idea. And it might be for you for a different place. I've had that happen before. Suggested something in a church that I attended when I lived in a different state. Didn't work out. It wasn't a bad idea. Nobody was mad at me or belittled me, but it just didn't work out. But it worked out in a different church when I moved. And that it doesn't have to be for church. It can be for anything. But anyway, I just wanted to give that encouragement to you guys because I'm sure that a lot of you have awesome ideas for either yourself or for other people or maybe a job, whatever the case might be. I'm learning to take my shots, right? And it's very humbling, and nobody likes humility. But anyway, we created a really fun creature, a Mylumentera, a sea star. We created a sea star today. Oh, a sea star named Lenny. Short for Leonard, but he doesn't like Lenny. But we're gonna call him Lenny. And I like to call him Leonard. I think we should call him Leonard, not Leonard. I think it sounds a little fancier, a little bit more fantasy. I can't think of words. I'm tired. It's already tomorrow, guys. Thank you for staying up this late with me, you guys. See, this is a crazy idea that I had, and you guys hang out with me, and you allow me to not feel like an idiot. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this Friday into Saturday, and I hope to see you all soon. I do. I appreciate you all so much. You don't even know. Be sure to hit that like button on our way out. And until next time, guys, you're welcome. Saying it was fun. You guys are the best. You guys create some of the best stuff with me. I can't take all the credit. I might draw it, but I need your guys' ideas. I absolutely do. Well, good. I'm glad. Thanks again for everybody coming by. You guys are awesome. Get my thing here. Of course, you can support the channel. Links are in the description box down below. But until next time, guys, sleep well. Have a fantastic upcoming weekend. You guys are going to do great things. Enjoy whatever it is that you're going to do. If you have to work this weekend, I hope it's wonderful. I hope it's great. I hope you have fun. And if you're not working, I hope you enjoy whatever it is you're going to be doing. Bye, guys. Oops.